Hey guys, good morning. Just got back from church and I've been talking about starting some seeds, so I thought today we would do something a little different than all the videos I've been putting out recently, which have been mostly houseplant related, repots and things like that. Just slightly different. Not going to be able to start a whole lot of them because I don't have any seed starting trays at the moment. All I have right now are a few of these, they're dirty, but little 1-inch or no 2-inch pots, and then some of these clear plastic cups that I was using for my propagations. I really need to put some holes on the bottom of these, but I don't have anything to do that with right now, so we're just going to keep a really close eye out on the moisture of the soil and hope it works. If not, we'll try again. So these are all the seeds that I decided I wanted to try to start. I can't do all of these because, like I said, I've only got a few cups and pots here, so I think I'm just gonna pick maybe 1 or 2 from each group and see what I can get started today. So I have a few what I consider to be more like on the herb side of the plant, garden plant vegetables. Though some of these are not actually herbs. I have spinach in here. So I've got 2 different kinds of spinach here. This is from Dollar Seeds and it's the Bloomsdale spinach, and then from Haas, that's not spinach. This is from Haas, we have the Sun Angel spinach, and then Haas's Italian basil also, and then I have the Dollar Seed flat leaf Italian parsley, holy basil from M.I. Gardener, rosemary from him as well, and then from Haas I have some thyme. I really, if nothing else, I think this is probably what I'm gonna do. The thyme and the basil and spinach, these 3 are the herbs that I would really like to get to grow. The basil and the thyme are 2 of my favorite things to cook with. And then there is a recipe that I really love that calls for both of these and the spinach. So I think I'll do those. And then I have a few pepper varieties here. The habanero lemon from M.I. Gardener. We've got the cayenne pepper from him as well, the sweet yellow wonder, and the peppercini. So I would like to have a semi-hot pepper for the salsa I would like to make. I'd also like to have a sweet one to cook with, so I'm gonna choose 2 of these to go with. I've got some melons here. These are all from M.I. Gardener as well. We've got Hale's Best Jumbo Cantaloupe. We've got the Jubilee watermelon, the really big ones, Sugar Baby watermelon, and then Honey Rock melon. So I'm going to choose 1 or 2 of these as well. And just so I don't keep repeating that, everything I'm showing you, I'm going to choose 1 or 2 depending on how many containers I have. Some beans, black beans from M.I. Gardener, Blue Lake bush beans, and some Blue Lake pole beans. We have 2 kinds of squash, the crookneck summer squash and the winter spaghetti squash. 2 kinds of okra, the red burgundy and the hill country red. Cucumbers here, we've got the Armenian yardlong, national pickling, Beet alpha, and Boston pickling. And then the last category is tomatoes. We've got the Rutgers, Kellogg's breakfast, Sheboygan, Floridade, Tropical Sunset, Black Brandywine, Tigerella, and Triple Crop. So let me decide which ones I'm going to try to plant. And then I just told my boyfriend that I needed a seed starting tray, and then I'll be able to start all the seeds I just showed you, and then some, because this bag is still very full of seeds that, you know, I just don't have what I need to start. So let me decide what I'm gonna plant, and then I'll get back with you. And unfortunately I had to cut out a lot of what I wanted to start, but what we're left with is the basil, spinach, thyme, 2 of the cucumbers. This one is supposed to be really good for fresh eating, for pickling, 2 squashes because I just love squash, and then 3 tomatoes. These two are for flavor. This one is supposed to be a really high producer. Now that we have our tin we're gonna start with, I'm gonna open my soil. I'm gonna go ahead and get this moist so I don't have to worry about accidentally displacing my seeds by watering them after I plant them. I need something to hold this. I mean, I guess I could just pour it right in here. Why not, right? It's sticking together, so that's good. Take each one of these and put soil in them like so. In case you don't know, no, that's dumb. That's really dumb. So far, I have tried starting seeds, I don't know how many times in the last 2 years, but things are just not working. Did get some okra last year to successfully produce fruit. I got a couple of cucumbers and some beans, and I think that was about it. Right now, if you guys remember, I don't know, probably 4 or 5, maybe even 6 months ago. It can't be 6 months ago. It's been a couple months. I started seeds in those bags of Black Cow, and nothing really came out of that. In case you were wondering, the radishes took forever to bulb up, and they got woody really fast after that. The kale really is the only thing that's doing anything right now, and I guess I could be eating small leaves off of it, but I just haven't. I think I finally have some, it looks like parsley, but it's not. Cilantro. The cilantro, I believe I finally have some plants going, but if they don't make it, I don't have any more seeds. I was so eager to get that cilantro to take off that I used all of my seeds, and now I don't have any for this year. But I hope that works. That's like a key ingredient I need to make the salsa that I want to make. So I'm hoping that works. Okay, so I've got all of my pot seed starting containers filled up, and my hand is filthy. Thank you, Christy. You know, for someone who likes to garden with plants and wants to have a homestead and farm animals and all that, I sure don't like getting my hands dirty. I don't know how that's gonna work out in the future. Some people love it. I'm not one of those people. Cleaned my hand off. Now I just need to dry it. Somebody tell me why my prayer plant is closed when the sun is out. It's really dry. Maybe it needs water. There, now it has some. I also grabbed some cuttings the other day from elderberry and mulberry trees, and they're just sitting in water right now, but I plan to pop them up this week. So in the little 2-inch pots, that's where I'm going to start my my herbs and green things. Maybe turn you around. All right, I'm going to try to give you guys a viewpoint of what I'm doing here. So let's move these out of the way, and we're going to pot these up first. Okay, so my Italian basil says it needs to be 1/4 of an inch, which basically means you just barely cover it with soil. You know what? Nope. Okay. I should probably label these, right? Yeah, let me grab my, before I get started, because I will forget. Let's go ahead and label what is going in these. There we go. All right, I've got all my markers written out there. And now we can get planting. Huge marker for this guy. Okay. Because these are so tiny, you really don't want to bury them. You basically want to sprinkle them on the soil and then sprinkle a little bit of soil on top. That is what I have learned over the years watching different gardeners on YouTube. I'm just going to put a little sprinkling. First, let's make sure this is even here. A little sprinkling of seeds. I hope this isn't another waste of seeds. I've wasted so many seeds over the last 2 years. Fortunately, I bought all of these seeds at a really discounted price when they went on sale at the end of the year. So that's good, but it's still a lot of money in seeds that I would like to not waste. All right, so now that we've got those in, I'm just going to sprinkle just a little more, little tiny bit of soil on top. Not a whole lot. And just make sure they're covered. And now I'm just going to give a little spray to make sure that that soil is, you know, pretty moist. I should probably put something down. My floor is going to get really wet. First one is done. We will do the thyme. I really hope I can get this to work. I really want these herbs. I really want to make that homemade sauce. It's like a white sauce, kind of like Alfredo, but a little different. And oh my goodness, these are even smaller seeds. Not even sure I'm gonna cover these. Sprinkle those on there, and I think I'm just gonna wet these down. Ooh, no sir. And we'll do the spinach in this last small one here. These are a little bigger, so they're gonna go 1/2 inch. So I will put them on the top of the soil, and then I'll cover them with 1/2 inch of soil. Those are much bigger. Probably don't need that many, but I'd like a good chance of sprouting. This spinach is another one that's supposed to be really easy, and it just never has been for me. I think I got them to sprout once, and then they just died. Here's hoping that it works this time. That's what they look like sitting there, and I'm just going to cover them with about 1/2 inch of soil. Lay them down a little. All right, floor date. First, let's compact our soil. I had this past Wednesday off because I've arranged with my boss to get the Wednesday, when I work on Saturdays, I will have that Wednesday off of the same pay period. And it was really weird for me. Like all day I felt like I was doing something wrong because I wasn't at work. And I almost, like, I had this urge to just go in and like check on everybody. It was just really weird. So I worked this past Saturday, so I won't be working next weekend, so I won't be getting this Wednesday off. But I mean, I enjoyed it, but it was just weird. Oh, it worked out perfectly that I had 10 of these green plant tags also. First, the Floridated tomato. That's just these regular red ones, and these does not say how deep to plant. So let's look at the size. there's the Floridated tomatoes. I'm not sure what's going on with my camera, but it stopped recording when I hit 10 minutes, which is not something that normally happens. I'm going to cover those up, and I might go ahead and set all these in here, and I'll just show you that in case my camera turns off again. We'll see. All right, hopefully my camera won't shut off again. The next one we're going to do is the Kellogg's breakfast. These are supposed to be a really good, mild, not as acidic as the red varieties, so I'm looking forward to that. I've been teaching myself to enjoy tomatoes over the years. I can't say I'm 100% there, but I'm a lot closer than I was in years past. The black brandy wine, and this is supposed to have like a more smoky flavor. I want to try a tomato sandwich the way that Jess likes her tomato sandwiches, which is to take thin slices of different colored tomatoes and layer them on top of one another to get the different flavor profiles in the sandwich. So I'd really like to try that. So hopefully these all sprout and grow, because I've been able to get the tomato plants to sprout but not really grow. They just get stunted and don't do anything here lately. So hopefully I can get these to actually grow and produce tomatoes for me, and we can try Jess's favorite tomato sandwich. And what's next? Moving on to the cucumbers now, and that is the Be It Alpha. So these, it also does not say how deep they're supposed to go, so let's just look at them and see what they look like. You can kind of tell how deep a seed should go based on its size. So like twice the size of the seed should be the depth, or something like that. So these are going to go about an inch below the soil, and I've just got 5 of them here, there, and then we'll bury them pretty deep, deeper than the other guys. They're bigger seeds, and they're able to push through that deeper soil pretty well. And then the Boston pickling cucumbers. Cucumbers and squash have always been, and beans have always been the easiest for me to sprout, and they also, well, the cucumbers and the beans, especially the cucumbers, the beans somewhat, but the cucumbers especially, I've never had any trouble getting to produce fruit for me. They've always been really good producers. So those are about the same size, and we'll cover them the same, a little deeper than all the rest. And then last but not least is our 2 squashes. And these seeds should be slightly bigger, or about the same size. And no, they're a little bigger. We'll bury them a little deeper. So while the camera was off, I didn't realize it was off, but while it was off, Ricky, my boyfriend, brought in another pest control team member who was almost dead from being frozen. We had a hard freeze last night, and the lizards and frogs and stuff around here, when it gets too cold, they can die. So when we've found them kind of frozen where they were, we've been bringing them in here to warm them up and hopefully save them. I forgot where I was going with that story. So these, the winter squash, are even bigger than the crookneck squash, so they'll go even a little deeper. He brought in a frog, and it's ginormous. And the poor thing was just like almost stiff, but still alive and moving really, really slow. But he's in here now, and he'll be able to warm up and help eat some of the bugs that find their way in here. So, all right, so that is everyone all potted up. Let me spray all these guys down. And the trick is going to be for me to remember to keep these guys moist. Shouldn't be that difficult given that they're in here with my house plants, which need to be watered pretty regularly, but that doesn't really mean anything for me. I really need to get a seed starting tray that I can bottom water. That way I don't really have to worry about it too much, but I don't have one right now, so this is what we are going to start with, and hopefully it's good enough. It's probably still a little early to start some of the things that I decided to start, but since I'm doing it in this room, I figured it would be okay. And seeds don't need any light to sprout. Some of them need heat, but once they do sprout, I am going to have to figure out a way to give them the light that they need. I may end up taking one of these shop lights that my boyfriend's brother has and moving it in here to sit on top of these guys. Is that a snake? No. Okay. All right, that's gonna be it for this video, you guys. I just got a notification that Roots and Refuge video is premiering now, and they are calving. One of her heifer cows is giving birth, and I really want to see that, so I'm gonna head over there and watch that video. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today as I started a few of my hopefully vegetable garden seeds. Hope it works, fingers crossed. And I guess until next time, see ya.